There we go. Okay, welcome. Hello and welcome. I want to thank Susan back there for being a greeter. We haven't had a greeter for a few weeks. You did a great job. Thank you. And how about Valerie? Would you lead us in the pledge and the four-way text, please? Gotcha.
I could belt my voice, my teacher voice, but the microphone's on, so I won't. So, okay, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Rotary four-way test. Number 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better relationships? And 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Working on the memory of that. Thank you.
Great. And let's see, Holly has a thought of the day. There she is.
Hi. Okay, so I picked this one because I've had a lot of change in my life, and part of it is something that I always say to my kids. I'm saying it a lot to my daughter who's leaving for college, but if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King Jr.
Good. I don't think we have any visiting Rotarians today. I didn't see anyone signed up, but I know we have a few guests. Let's see. Doug, are you going to introduce some guests?
I have 2 guests I would love to introduce. I have 2 guests I would love to introduce, Mary Millard and Greg Millard. And I have the pleasure of knowing them through the Mid-Road Foundation on our efforts to get the house for senior citizens going to 6-bedroom house. And Mary has volunteered, as well as Greg, to organize all the donations to fill the house with furniture. I think Mary's done that. She's done an incredible job. And I'm also, they've been such lovely people. I'm trying to recruit them for the club too. So be nice to them. Be very nice for them. But yeah, welcome. Jody?
I would like to, whoa. Judy Davidson is my guest, and Judy is helping us with the mural. As many of you know, she is one of our resident artists. Thank you.
For anybody who wasn't here 2 weeks ago, Renee is here again, and I work with Renee, and she's back, and we're gonna try to keep bringing her.
Hey everybody, we have a very dear friend of mine who many of you know. Come on, Ellen, stand up. This is Ellen Johnson. Welcome back.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, how about announcements? We generally have a lot of announcements. There you go. All right.
First thing, tomorrow is a free shred day at Banner Bank on 7th Street. So there's flyers around. It'll go from 10 until 2. You can bring free bags, free boxes, whatever you've got. Go ahead and bring it up so that you can get it shredded. Absolutely free. We also are going to be hosting one of the lemonade kids stands, but she won't be there until 1. So, you know, she'll be there from 1 to 4:30. So even if you don't make it for the shred, please try to make it by to help our little girl that's going to be there. She would have tried to do the whole thing, but the judging of the stands doesn't happen until 4. So she couldn't do the 10 to 2. But anyway, please do bring any of your confidential stuff and get it shredded up. It'll be right on site and you can watch it happen. The other thing I wanted to thank, I have had 8 Rotarians, thank you very much, sign up to help at the fair. I do have a few other shifts I just wanted to run through real quickly if somebody had a time that they would like to be able to come. Wednesday, the 9th, we've got shifts at 12 to 2:30 and 2:30 to 5. So we've got 4 of those. And also at the front gate, we've got 12 to 2:30 and 2:30 to 5. So we actually have 6 shifts, the short shifts, available on Wednesday if you are so inclined. Or on Saturday, we've got a front gate shift from 10 to 2:30 or 12:30 to 3:30. So anyway, if you have the ability or have the time and either of those days work for you, please let me know. I also brought the parking passes for those that have signed up. So if I didn't get you yours and you're here, please grab me and I will get those to you. If everybody can arrive, so that you're at your gate a little in advance, just remember thinking about parking, thinking about travel time so that you are there. And to get to the parking, when you go down Pansy Lane, that's just beyond the YMCA and you turn right into Pansy like you always do to park. The very first parking part is actually for paying parking. Right beyond that canopy, you're going to see another sign that says vendors. And that's going to take you, if you're used to horse racing, it's actually taking you down where the starting gate normally runs, and then you'll get onto the track. So it just is a real simple on and off. You've got your parking passes, put them in your window, and you get in for free. Thank you.
Let's see, Debbie.
I think Dawn and I are going to be chasing around the room to get signups. She's finishing off August and I am going to be starting on September. I've had a couple of people have asked, how do you get to do inspiration? I want to do inspiration and I'm never able to do it. If you are interested in doing inspiration, give me a high sign and I will come to you so you can, because there's only going to be 4 slots for inspiration for the month of September. So if you want to be one of those 4 and you haven't done it before, let me know. Thanks.
Anybody else? Yeah, that's great.
So we had our regular meeting about the mural today before the meeting, and we realized we need, I got to remember what those 2 things were. They let me have a beer. Now I can't remember because I had a beer. We're looking for somebody, if anyone knows somebody that does sort of sign painting, because part of the mural has wording in it. And so we need somebody that can actually do wording. So sign painting, someone does that. So if anybody knows somebody who does that, let us know, please. And then the other thing we're looking for is if any of you know probably somebody who does tree trimming. Some of the bigger tree trimming companies have those trucks with a single person bucket, hydraulic bucket. If any of you know somebody who does that, we would love to borrow one. Because we're going to have the large man lift when there's a large number of people out there with 2 or 3 or 4 bodies up. But that single bucket will really help us in the very beginning to get the outlines up there for the paint by numbers thing we're going to do for all of you. So let us know if anybody knows anybody who's a tree trimmer or maybe even a electrical power line sort of thing.
Anybody else? If you notice on your tables are those jars. We decided we'd like to bring back the just a kind of informal Polio Plus donations. If you have extra change in your pocket or $1 or whatever, it doesn't have to be much, but it seemed like it was a good idea. I don't know, maybe we fell out of that habit, so we're going to reprise that. So that's why those things are on your table. Okay, this month is the Rotary month is membership and new club development. And, we're going to do a few things, I think, today that relate to that. We're going to talk about our club structure and what committees and project teams you can join. And also we're going to talk about, if we have any time, Jean Marie is going to talk a little bit about where all the money goes when we donate it. But before we do that, Laurel Sampson would like to talk about some things she has learned recently. She and her husband went to a Parkinson's international conference in Spain, Barcelona, I believe, and she'd like to share some things she learned. Laurel.
Gosh, since I've done this Scott, my husband, and I spent 4 weeks traveling through Spain. It was really wonderful. A lot of art museums, the parks are wonderful, concerts, flamenco dancing, and we ate most of our dinners from tapas bars, which gave us a lot of bars. And it really, really was wonderful. Thank you. We traveled from Barcelona, Madrid, Cordoba, Granada, Sevilla, and then back to Barcelona, because that trip was really not the purpose. And the purpose was to go to Spain and to attend the World Parkinson Congress in Barcelona. This is the third time that I've gone to one of these congresses. And I would like to talk a little bit about the World Parkinson Congress. And then maybe you know somebody who has Parkinson's, or somebody knows of somebody, because this is an incredible program that they put forward. The program brings in about 4,000 people from around the world. The researchers and the health professionals work hard to study on the disease, but it's the people, and this is a hard sentence. Okay, I can do it. Partners who live with Parkinson's day in, day out, and they're considered the experts. Okay, I'll stop with that. Okay, so it's a 4-day event, and they started with anybody can go to any of the programs, and there are just tons of programs that they can be part of. On the early morning ones, they have very, very large with speakers from around the world. As an example, we had one who talked about can the genetics of sporadic PD and PLD help in disease subtyping? What could be the therapeutic implications? And that's one from the US. And another one was brain first, body first, Parkinson's disease. And that one's from Denmark. There are just tons and tons of stuff that you can go to and listen. I didn't actually go to that one because I have no idea what the DLB is, and all, this is higher for me. But that was just the beginning of the day. Throughout the programs, we have another one that is one for people who really do want to look at scientific, high level, and minimal scientific. There's also another one where they have workshops where they talk more about the people like us. One of them was emerging therapies for Parkinson's disease, and another one was which exercise is the best time investment. Many of the people wanted to group in smaller groups, and so they could put together round tables, and a couple of them that they talked about was swallowing and Parkinson's, and Parkinson's apathy. Who do we care? And then after that, we've got films and books, and they have lounges to use. One of the things that they have that I thought was really a fun one was that they bring in a total of 400 or 800 posters that people have made throughout the world, and people who are some of them are ones that are high end with science, and then others are ones that they feel that they've got some things that are helpful. Like one of them was Sing a new song, the results from research on group therapeutic singing for people with Parkinson's disease. And she just found that is helpful. And it's not one of the big ones, but it's something that's helpful. And another one was Parkinson's, one disease or several, a fallacy of subtypes, which I don't know, I didn't go to that one. And then they do it one day, and because there's so many of them, 400 of them each day. At the end of the day, they sort of wrap it up if you wanted to, and we can just listen to some of the different items that happened during that day. So I really have to say that the energy that people bring to this program is it's really great. People are so kind and they're so charitable. They're just wonderful to be with. And the other thing is that we really do learn a lot as you go through this. And you just have so many choices of what's important for you. That's what you can work with. The World Parkinson Congress statement is advancing science, promoting community, and inspiring hope. And that's their message for all of this. So, so if you know somebody or somebody who knows somebody else, to talk about it or to look up this World Parkinson Congress, or they can give us a call. We've done it a while now, and I have to say that I'm kind of anxious for the next one, because there's one thing that happens that's really sort of a bonus, is that when you go to one of these, the ones that I went to first were Portland, Kyoto, and now Barcelona. And I don't know what the next one is going to be, but if you go to one of these, heck, take some time and stay in that country, and you'll learn a little bit about that too. So that was it. I just wanted to make sure, because this is clearly something important for my family. Yeah.
What was the takeaway from that? What particular takeaway?
I think they looked at a lot of the balance issues. That's a big thing for people with Parkinson's, and it's a real hard one. It's a real hard one. Well, he got some of it from him. I wasn't part of that one. There were also ones for exercising, and that's a real key one. And they talked a lot about how to just how to make it better, how to make it better.
Well, explain what part of the body is the connection.
Tell me what part of your body is, and that's where it is.
What's not working that makes Parkinson's?
Oh, well, they don't know. I mean, that's kind of what they're working for.
So it's a muscular issue, or it's a nerve issue, it's a brain issue. You don't know.
Yeah, and yes, and yes. Yeah, I mean, it's different. I mean, some people don't have these problems at all, but these people over here have all these problems. And there's, at this point, there really is they can help people, but they aren't gonna take it away. I mean, it's not going away, and it slowly will. And really, the only thing that we have heard, because we talked to other people about it, is exercise and good food. So it'll come now. It'll come.
What kind of they have for the caretakers? What kind of programs?
They do have programs because it's hard. It's hard. And so they have classes for that. Not really classes, but sometimes conversations with people who are the carekeepers, and you learn stuff from them as well. So it's just, and mostly it's people do things differently. Yeah. What was that last part? The brain thing? That's been going for a while, but it only works for certain people. It's not everybody that could get it. It wouldn't do anything for my husband because that's not the problem for him. So.
You know, when Jean Marie was president, she used to always say what she loved about this club, and there were a variety of things. And what I realized, one of the things I love about this club is I think people in this club really have heart. And I want to thank Laurel for a heartfelt presentation. I know it's a horrible issue to deal with, but thank you so much. This may be a little less interesting, nevertheless important. Okay, so we are a service club. How do we get things done? Basically through our committees and all the various project teams that we have. So I thought it's early in the Rotary year. I thought it'd be a good time to look at our club structure, our committees, our project teams, who's in charge of things, and just have a little brief presentation from each person, each representing each committee. And if you haven't signed up yet, we've had forms going around. They're on tables. They've been in the back. We started last week. Some, I think a lot of we just carried forward from the committees you were on last week or last year. If you want to stay there, that's fine. If you want to make some adjustments, join another one, change, sign up. We'll take care of it. So anyway, with that, how about we'll start with, how about the administration committee? And then I won't call people up. You all know who you are, so just follow one after another. Here comes Dawn.
Okay, and then as you can see, administration is a highfalutin way of saying housekeeping. We're housekeepers. Okay, and oddly enough, this just recently we were reading what the administration group did, because most of us have in the past just really kind of worked on programs and sergeant at arms. So of the teams that are under administration, the first one is the program team. And we were very creative and we have a lot of fun as well. And we actually have a new member who has signed up, Susan Bondison, who already has come up with 3 creative programs. One of the things I'd like to say, if you're not on the team, please use us as your sort of people to say, this would be a great program. And I think that we've had some wonderful programs because there are wonderful people in this community. So that's the program team. Anybody's welcome. But it also means probably that you should like to drink wine. I'm just being honest. Okay. And snacks. Yeah, macaroons last time. Sergeant at Arms is another piece of it, and I think that's part of housekeeping because as you see when we're passing around who's going to do inspiration, pledge, Sergeant at Arms is one of them, and also greeters. So if you want to be a part of that, what we've decided to do is we take a month, so it's kind of a little bit ad hoc. You say, this month I will take care of getting that information out. And it's very important really to Steve Rowe to be able to put that in the Navigator. And okay, so Sergeant at Arms, you know, as we come up here and say kind of silly things, and then we ask for money, which goes to the fact that we are also one of the sub teams is the club fundraising team. So Sergeant at Arms is kind of asking for money, but a lot of what we've done in the past, in the last several years, is certainly focusing on fundraising for Porch Fest. So if that's something you love to do, please do. And we will figure out some other ways as well to raise funds. Another is the public image team. And these are the people who really know how to do public image, right? So far, it's Gina Marie, Margaret, Allison, Janie Duell, and Steve Rowe. So if you kind of like to be a marketer and tell people what a great organization we have here at Rotary and entice people to come in, consider joining that one. And finally, it's the tech support team, which I have nothing to do with. I didn't even know there was a tech support team, except that everything always goes really, really well. So Gina Marie, Margaret, Allison, oh no, that's a public image. It's Gina Marie, Jen Jackson, Dan Mata, Doug Walker, and Bella Toledo. And you know that Bella knows how to put a ladder up. And so those are our teams, and we'd love any of you to come and join any of them. You want to be frick or frack?
Let's do it in alphabetical order, and you'll be frack. Okay. No, you're oh, Bev. Okay. 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 So anyway, we are part of the, and Tommy too is part of our team too. I don't know if she knows that, but she's part of our team too, engagement committee. And the engagement committee consists of the membership team, the fellowship team, and the group study and friendship exchange team, which is Tommy. And Tommy might want to get up here and talk about that in a second. But the engagement or the membership team, membership team leader would be me. Valerie or Debbie's first. I think I was looking at Valerie, and Valerie was my co-chair at one point. So Debbie is the fellowship team leader, and Tommy is the group study and friendship exchange team. And I'll tell you what the membership or the membership program of the team does. Promotes membership needs to the club, interviews potential members, and holds new member orientation. We monitor and track recruitment process for prospective members, provide orientation for new members, and schedule quarterly firesides, mentor new members, and support them in completing their blue badge checklist. Follow up with club members to promote and support their individual club engagement. Schedule club members, especially red badge members, to present vocational programs once a month. And on that committee, on that team, we have Gina Marie, Debbie Amin, Mike Bird, Tommy Drake, Janie Duell, Bonnie Kallenberg, Holly Leidy, Valerie Lovelace, Laurel Sampson, Claudia Sullivan, Bev Walker, Dawn Welch, and Jim Hubert is, how do you say it? Ex officio? Oh, okay, that's how you say it. And I always have new member applications in the back here. And you can always get in touch with me and I'll send out information. And I always have information in the back there about our Rotary Club. So go ahead.
I'm going to talk a little bit about our fellowship team, our fellowship committee. The fellowship committee has kind of evolved over the last few years. If you remember, I think it started like fifth. I have this bridge in my mouth, so I think like I'm in Barcelona. On the fifth Thursday, we used to have fellowship, and we'd gather at bars or wherever, and we've sort of evolved that. So now it's the last Thursday of every month, and we're finding someplace. We like the weekend brewery, and then in the last couple of months, we learned, thanks to Patty, that she has an awesome house to have a party at, and we celebrated at the end of our last year and honored Gina Marie and her leadership, and it was wonderful because we're at somebody's house. Where can you get, a bunch of us sitting around, taking your shoes off and dangling your feet in a pool and drinking wine together? It was absolutely delightful. And since then, we've had John Jones has volunteered to host at his house. If this is something you have a place that you think would be fun for us to gather at, please let us know that you're interested. The idea is getting us together and just spending time together. Just downtime, there's no agenda. We have snacks, usually we had wonderful food. Everybody brings something, and it's just, it's kind of, we used to do the Maui, is that right? Moa dinners, Moa, thank you. Moa dinners, God, it's been a few years since then. But the idea of that was connecting us with one another and just being together. And President Jim has said he wants to find out what are ways that we all want to connect with each other and to make this more meaningful of an experience for us. We all know we have busy lives and lots of competition for our time, and we want to make sure what we're doing is meeting the needs of our members. So let us know if you have ideas, and you can certainly join this group. And the August group includes Margaret Bradford, Jamie Duell, James Dunn, Patty Hansen, Cindy Groundahl, Lutz Kramer, Donna Sparrow, Claudia Sullivan, Julie Toledo, Patty Toronto, Bev Walker, Don Welch, and Jim Huber is the ex officio. So we have fun, and we like wine too. There's a theme going on here, but we also had a lot of sparkling beverages, so there are lots of options for it. And now I'm going to turn it over to our fearless leader of the exchange team.
Well, we probably should have Ellen up here as a group study person. But anyway, I also led a group study to the Philippines. And last year, I went on a Rotary Friendship Exchange to the Philippines in, maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago, because it was right before COVID shut everything down. In fact, we had to come back early. But a group or a Rotary Fellowship Exchange is usually 6 to 10 of us. Partners are invited if you want, or you take a friend. Patty and I are going to be roommates. She may not know that, but anyway, we have a great time. The Rotarians there take us to all the great places. Last time we went to a golf club, and a lot of the guys golfed. I don't do that, but and we went to a weaving place. I don't think the guys did that either, but they show us the sites, and because we had to leave early, we didn't get to go to the beach, which, darn it, it's a gorgeous little beach, because I did go there when I was there before. Margaret went on a Rotary Fellowship Exchange with Greg. Australia, New Zealand? New Zealand, yeah. And I think you had a good time, didn't you? Yeah. It's great to meet the other Rotarians and understand how they work in the world. It's kind of like I'm on the scholar committee for the district, and Chuck Root just sent all of us that do the interviews this letter from one of our scholars who's in Japan right now, getting ready to have a baby.
And she just couldn't say enough great stuff about the Japanese host family. So that's great news. So that's what we do. And Judy Jackson and Claudia Sullivan and Doug Walker and Patty Toronto and Bev Walker is are in charge of us. And then we've got the head of the women. What is it? The ring of the women? What is it you call us? Okay, there you go. I obviously didn't miss that book. So anyway, thank you.
Hello, hello. I am Delynn Sharpen. I am the chair for the Youth Service Committee. Under that, we have RILA, Interact, Youth Study Exchange, which Tommy should stay up here because she's spearheaded that in the past. You don't have to, but maybe later. Service Above Self and the four-way speech. A number of those are post school, so to speak, high school. Each Rotary Club has one. Ours is North Valley. And so RILA team, we inspire the kids to do speeches or to go to the summer camp as sophomores and come back and speak to us. So the young leaders who went last year will be coming talking with us about their adventure at that camp that they had at the end of the school year. That on that one right now is myself and Lisa Kramer. Also Interacts, that's a big one that we have. The young leaders have done a great job with our international project, which they've decided to keep. They have to have one international and one local. The international has been the water wells that have been through thirst. They are deciding to keep that one as well. Local, they helped with wildlife images last year. They went out and cleaned their little, I don't know exactly what they cleaned. They cleaned a lot of stuff. They made little Christmas ornaments for the animals for them to play with and things like that. And we go out there, we're trying to get them to talk with us right now because it's kind of hard when the kids leave for the summer, they leave. So trying to get them to reconnect right now before school gets started. We have been trying to set it up to go out there every other week. And a lot of the ones in Interact are also in their leadership and free sport athletes and so working with their schedules is always a bit fun and challenging. Our local teacher that's always helped us out has been Tiffany Mackey, and so she will continue to do that. And it's been really helpful having her there to help coordinate. On that, it's Mike Bird, Lisa, and myself. And then the youth exchange, I haven't dealt with that piece as much because Tommy's been wonderful at that. And did you want to speak a little bit about what that means? Sure.
Well, Youth Exchange is really a great program in the sense that we get students from all over the world to come and stay with us. Dawn has been our counselor. Doug has been our counselor. You have a counselor when you come here that's the same sex as you for some reason. I'm not sure what it's about, but because we've had trouble with all kinds of people, but normally we have a great time. And right now we're looking for a person to lead that committee, which involves finding people here, host families here. It's a one-on-one exchange. If we take somebody here, we have to, and then we get to send somebody. So if we send somebody, we have to take somebody here. And being a host family is just great. I've loved doing it, but I can't do everything. So I know. But a lot of us, Margaret was on that committee, Laurel was on the committee. So there's a lot of us that know about it, and it would just be great if we could find a new chair because I can't do it anymore. So yes, ma'am. I don't know. The question is, are we going to combine efforts with another club right now? And COVID is majorly to cause this. But we've got one student from another country in our area,
And the big club, Wednesday club, Ann Bauer is doing all of the coordinating there. And we had a couple meetings and I went, but we didn't really do it. It's just Ann doing it. So it'd be great if we could do it again. That would be wonderful. So, and who's on that committee? Oh, me and Susan Fisher Mackey. And she said she can't be the leader of it, but so.
Thank you, Tommy. Service above self, that's one that Lisa Looney has done an amazing job and continues to. She's on that one, really spearheaded it. Debbie Brownell's on there and Bella. So everybody, I think, knows kind of what that one's about. If not, I can go over that with everybody. And then the 4-way speech test, speech contest, where the young adults from North Valley come and give their presentations, and then they get to go on to competing against the other schools and then on to the next level. This is such a fun area to be in with seeing the young adults from North Valley and being a part of inspiring them to be better leaders and seeing how we do things so that they can see how it can transfer to when they become college or in the workforce. Would love to have more people. I just really enjoy seeing them grow, and they're great kids, so come talk to me. Yeah, co-chair would be great if somebody can help me out. I'd appreciate that. That'd be wonderful. I appreciate any help, especially the youth exchange. If somebody really wants to take that on, it was so neat having the, yeah, you'd be the person in the know if there's questions. But yeah, co-chair would be wonderful. And again, our club was able to maintain having interact, where there's been a few of the other clubs, like the Wednesday club had kind of a hiatus after COVID where they didn't have a club at Grants Pass High School. They've struggled at Hidden Valley to have interact clubs. So, and ours seems to be thriving. We've had more people joining, so that's encouraging. So they're really wanting that interaction at the high school. So I want to keep it going. Thank you.
Okay, it's frickin' frack up here again. Lutz and I are committee chairs for the Social Impact Committee. And we'll talk a little bit about what the Social Impact Committee is, which is a great name that I think Steve Rowe coined a couple of years back when he was president, which sort of challenges us all when we do something, is what we're doing, creating actual impact in the community or social impact. So I'm glad he did do that and change the name. Our group sort of consists of everybody in the club, even though you may not want to be on another committee, you're on the committee. And the committee is basically when we go out and we do things in the community, whatever it happens to be, whether it's our own club's activities, the mural is something we're doing in October, or it's the backpack project, something that Jody leads. All of those things we do sort of outside of the club is under the social impact of those projects. And when we volunteer at the food bank, or we volunteer at the high school for the various things we do at the high school, that's under social impact committee. Some of the things we've done in the past is listed on here. I'm going to keep talking, so why don't you chime in too?
Well, we can look at some of them. People who have been involved this last year in everything from the backpack project to the shoes project to working at the senior center and so on. I think a big focus for us as chairs is in terms of getting people engaged. I mean, how many of you in the last month have gotten an email that starts out, "Dear big-hearted, hardworking Rotarian"? You know?
Except some, right?
So yeah, a big part of it is, that it's kind of all-encompassing and trying to find projects. So if you have something that you run across that you think we as Rotarians could be involved with, please let us know. We'll get the committee together to talk about it and see what happens.
Yeah, and to that point, I think that's probably the most important point, because we can talk, you know, about what we've done in the past, and that's lovely, and you all deserve a lot of credit for those things. But what are we gonna do 6 months from now? What are we gonna do in March? So if any of you got a project we can do in March, let's get it on the calendar. Let's talk about how we can interface with that. And we really like those easy things, like at the high school or the food bank, where it's already pre-organized. But if there's something you all want to do, if there's a project that's going to take organizing and may take 2 years to happen, let's start talking about it now. And that's what we need all of you for, is what projects you want to do in the future, what things we have coming on. Let's bring those on. Let's get them on the calendar and let's make them happen.
So we'd love to have some more of you on the committee.
Yes. And part of the bulk of the administration, there really isn't very much other than letting everybody know what the calendar dates are for certain events that are coming up. So that's fairly easy. What we do need, though, is if a project comes along, let's say it's the food bank, that's an easy one to talk about. Patrice kind of handles all the paperwork, because she organizes the food bank, and she's one of our club members, and she works at the food bank, and she organizes us come out there. Or Jan Jones helps, because she's a pretty avid volunteer out there. They do the bulk of the work. So if you've got a project, you know, let's talk about it, see what we can do and how we can fit in, and how we can make it part of the Rotary thing. And it doesn't have to be a big project, or it could be a big project. Jim Lefevre has been working on the grant and the project in Mexico, and that's been taking a while. It's a fairly large project, so that's sort of the things we can do, those big ones, or we can do the small things, whatever it is you want to do. Part of the other things we do is literacy team, and that identifies needs in the community and develops and/or funds youth literacy projects in the community, promotes these projects and arranges participation by club members. And so there's a number of different things that fall under literacy. And if there's something you want to do that's additional to what we already do, bring that on. I want to shout out to the person who created this lovely cheat sheet, because yeah, I think we'd all struggle if we didn't have this thing right now. So kudos to that person.
I wonder who did that.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get. I'm just trying to get some points. Well, okay, I get 3 points, but I want points from you. All right. All right, good. Okay. You want to do
good?
Yeah, the economic development team.
Josie is not here today.
She's team lead for economic development. One of the things we are challenged with in our club is finding ways to help with the local economy and economic development. So if you have any ideas that might fit with how we can be involved with projects that might help the local economy, please bring them forward. Let's talk about it. We also handle the grants team. They oversee grants within our own club, within our district, and then big grant. Jim's leading a really big grant for the project in Mexico, which is a district-wide grant plus international grant, I think. So it's quite global grant. That's what it's called. Thank you. Quite large, and it should be very effective project in Mexico. Kudos to him for doing that. And then there's World Community Service Team. Locates international humanitarian projects, become involved with either spearheading new adventures or partnering financially with Rotary clubs. They work with the grants team. And I think that's kind of parallel to what Jim's doing in Mexico with the Garden Water Project. And then there's also the Vocational Service Award Team, which is Josie Malloy and Valerie, and that's to acknowledge and honor somebody in the community that's doing work above and beyond themselves in the community. And we want to honor them and their vocation.
Which is coming up again. So be thinking about people that you would want to nominate.
Mary's nomination comes out for last year. Yeah. Oh, it was technically for last year.
Yeah, and so what that's about is asking you if you know anybody in the community, non-Rotarian, that deserves credit for doing stuff above and beyond their vocation while doing it as part of their vocation. I got that right. Yep.
So our big thing is trying to get you engaged in this. And so count on us bugging you when we come up with a project.
Right. Yep. And if you have any projects you want to see done, let's talk about them.
we found a secret code word in one of the committees that we can, one of them appears after my name, so I would like to know what CONF means. Confirmed. You have my religious background record? Quick story about my religious background. When I was confirmed, I was, you get the opportunity in the Catholic Church to take a name. And I thought I was getting to choose my middle name because I was not given one at birth. So my bachelor's degree has my confirmation name on it, and so do some of my other legal documents have an illegal name in the middle. Anyway, Paul. Yeah. And speaking of Paul, just as a way to mention that what we're doing today is telling you lots of different opportunities to engage in the myriad of possibilities that Rotary in general and our club in particular offer to make your life more meaningful. Margaret and I are going to Europe for 6 weeks, starting next week. We found a great flight that goes only 10 hours from Portland to Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, we'll be meeting our Rotary Youth Exchange student from 12 years ago, Paul Story, who works in Amsterdam now. Formerly one of the IT people helping MasterCard find fraud, find electronic fraud, and now, as of Monday, started his own company doing that. So, Margaret's also been to Ethiopia for polio inoculation. These are all very, very meaningful experiences. The foundation, the Rotary Foundation, sometimes referred to as TRF, is an incredible opportunity for you to make your money go farther. If you know anything about leveraging or making your dollars really go to work, the Rotary Foundation is annually ranked as one of the top foundations in the world by Charity Navigator and other organizations that judge the efficacy of foundations. We're very fortunate to be associated with it. I'm co-chair of the Rotary Foundation committee here. Kirk Brown, our other co-chair, is also the district chair of the foundation. So we kind of are in the know. We are also, have to help Kirk not be embarrassed in district meetings. This year we just missed E-Ray, which is every Rotarian every year. This is one of the main things that when I was president, I was involved with and cared a lot about. And so I've taken on the Super Bowl pool, which is one of our mechanisms to help people make a donation that counts toward every Rotarian every year, which means everyone in the club has made a donation to the Rotary Foundation, to the annual fund, which I think Gina's up next to explain some of these things. But the annual fund is the money that gets invested for 3 years and then comes back to the district based on the proportion of donations that went in. These are the monies that fund Jim's international program for the water project in Mexico, right? All of the projects that we've done, health centers in Guatemala and all around the world, schools, computers, all sorts of things. This is all money that we tripled from our donation. The Rotary Foundation also has a category that's called E-Ray 100. It means that every Rotarian in your club has donated, and the average donation is at least $100. The minimum required donation to count is $25. And we almost always, because we have some generous donors who donate electronically every month, we get an average that will go up to that level. That's one of the things that makes us an outstanding club. We have probably won the mid-sized club of the year in our district more times than any other club of our size in our district. And this, one of the reasons is because of the support of the foundation. So I urge you all to participate. Judy Basker is going to join the committee also, she tells me. So she's not on the list right now, but she's also going to be on the Rotary Foundation committee. I could use someone who likes detail because after the Super Bowl, The Super Bowl pool winner gets a Paul Harris Fellow Award, which normally takes $1,000 of donations, but which you could win with just a $25 square. I haven't submitted the paperwork yet for that person, which I think is Janie Dool this year, to get awarded that yet. So if you want to join the committee, you don't have to always ask for money. There are things behind the scenes that can help recognition that makes it worthwhile. One last thing I'll say is don't confuse the Rotary Foundation with the RG Rotary Foundation. Our club has its own foundation. Our Porch Fest money goes through that foundation. Jan Jones, who I think was on Zoom a little while ago, is the treasurer. We work hand in glove with our own club foundation. It's called RG Rotary Foundation. That's where the blue back money goes. That's where the Porch Fest donations go. And most of that comes back out to our youth programs like Rotary Youth Exchange and like our high school program with Interact North Valley, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I know it was a lot to get through, but I do think it's important that we understand how our club works. And I think the point is you don't have to do everything, but do something. So sign up. I think I called it align your interests in talents with what you're passionate about, and they'll help. Okay, if you need to leave, it's 1 o'clock. No shame if you got to take off at 1. Go for it. But in the meantime, I think Dawn is our Sergeant at Arms.
I really did have this whole long thing. I'll save it for another time because we'll have to have a few happy bugs. But I do think it's important for us to know that we're going to start out with the national holiday today. We cannot be in a better place than the Brew Pub because today is National IPA Day. So is there anybody here who ordered a beer today? Raise your hand. Oh, Lutz. Doug, okay. Anybody who plans to drink a beer today for National IPA Day? Okay, for all of those of you who raised your hands, who can tell me what IPA stands for? I'm going to call on somebody. All right, Bela. It's India Pale Ale, and so you are the winner, and today is also National Grab Your Nuts Day. And those kind of nuts, mixed nuts. But then also, who comes up with this? There are 3 other national holidays today. National Watermelon Day, National Big Forehead Day, and National Clean Your Floors Day. So when you go home, have a beer and take up your mop. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go to Happy Bucks now, and at some other time, I'll go with whatever crazy thing I had in mind. Okay, so who has a happy buck? Judy, come on up.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry that we ran a little bit late because I wanted everybody to hear this, but I have an idea that maybe I'll just do this every single week until we all get to eat every year, whatever that is. Because I was really sad to hear that we didn't make our goal of $25 a piece. And I'm quite convinced that it's because people didn't know, not because they thought that was, too much. So I put on your table this little piece of paper because the club has a how to donate sheet, but it's like 2.5 pages long and it's too much for me. I'm one of those that just needs the on and off switch. I can't really do the thing for the inner, anyway. So the first one shows you exactly, number 1, where to send your check for every year, every Rotarian every year. And the second one is for the mural project where you should send your check, because I personally believe that we should, before you ask others for help, you should make your own gift first. That's kind of a fundamental notion of philanthropy. It's So I have $100 today for the mural project and $25 for the every Rotarian every year. And I challenge everybody in the room to do that. And I do want to tell you one thing. When I was at Willamette, I won an award in the development office called "You Can Run, But You Cannot Hide." And I'm the one person in the room who is not ashamed, not apologetic, happy to ask people, if you have enough, please share, because I consider it a privilege to do so. If you can't do so, you don't want to do so, you just don't do it. So thank you very much. Oh, yeah. You just have to put annual fund. Okay, here we're going to get complicated, but I'll make sure that they get processed properly.
I just want to clarify, if you want it to go for every Rotarian every year, make sure the memo in a check says annual fund share, SHARE, otherwise it won't count.
Okay, I'll correct that because I'm going to keep bringing these little pieces back. Anybody else? Oh, yes, ma'am. I can't hear.
The mural.
Okay, Deborah's going to match the gift to the mural, and I will too. So other happy bucks. And Patty will too, and Margaret will too. God, I kind of feel like, so, okay. Okay.
One miserable happy buck. That's all Greg would give me today. So, will you? Okay. We are going on a long trip, and I've been playing Farmer Jane lately. In the back of the room are some Gravestein, I can't say it, apples, free apples. There's bags back there. Please take some. My tree is loaded. I've been picking blackberries, peaches, tomatoes from my tomatoes forest, and apples. And so please take some. Thank you.
Other happy bucks. Okay, Lisa, then Deb.
I have 5 happy bucks, and I'm going to toot Brenda Patton's horn for her. I just experienced 2 of Brenda's kid camps this summer, and yes, I'm going to cry, so I'm not going to look at you. So the outcome of these camps were absolutely amazing. The last one, it was Brenda's very last kid camp, and it was middle schoolers. And we all know that middle schoolers can be a bit challenging, but this group of kids, they were so receptive. And some of them were repeats from last summer's camp, but the outcome, and it wasn't just what Brenda did. Michelle was there with her Aikido. We had Braver Angels there who taught the kids about how to deal with tricky situations where you might want to yell at somebody, and instead let's talk about it. That session was incredible. The kids were role modeling. They were eating it up. We had Bobby Kidder there teaching the kids about personal space and also how to just be in tough situations. We went on a hike, which is we always have, but I've never been able to attend because I'm usually doing a workshop myself. And I got to hike along the riparian zone, which I did not know. In Oregon, only 2% of our land is part of the riparian area, and Brenda happens to have that on her property. And one kiddo said, she yells out, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're in Grants Pass." I mean, she was just amazed with the river, the creek that ran by there, and the unique trees, and we had bird housing. It was just incredible. And at the very end, we asked all the kids to write Brenda a little note, since this would be her last. And we sat together at a table afterwards by her pool, reading what the kids wrote and what they got about belonging, especially at the beginning when they felt scared because they didn't really know many people, what they learned about. I mean, we had all kinds of activities for them, and how many of them were sad that this was the last camp. And I know why you do it, and I get why you do it, and you have touched so many lives in such a positive way. In fact, we think we have some real strong candidates for RILA and Interact from this last camp. So big round of applause to Brenda for all her hard effort.
Our Four-Way Community Foundation Past Distinguished Service Award winner, of course.
Okay, one of these people she's influenced is my son, Chris. Yesterday, he texted us and he said, we're being rushed out of the Senate because he's doing an internship in Washington, D.C. He's being rushed out of the Senate by armed security because there was a threat of a shooting. And I'm just thankful that it was a false alarm. And so I'm happy about that. I'm happy about all the people that were mentioned in the sneak preview, Josie Malloy and Steve, and so many people from our club. I want to give happy bucks for that too.
Very good. I see Claudia, I see Doug. Maybe, did everybody bring their jammies?
I have two happy bucks. One is for Laurel's presentation because I really appreciated that and learned a lot. We coincidentally just had someone staying at our house last night with his wife caregiver, and he has Parkinson's. And I don't know if they know about this or not, but I'm going to text them today. They're on the road, but text them today and ask them if they know about it. And if they don't, send them the link. So thanks for informing me. Oh, that's not it.
Okay, Debbie Brownell.
Well, my happy buck that I've already donated, I usually donate like $50 every 6 months for happy bucks. It's another way to give. But anyway, I'm just happy that I made it to my 50th class reunion along and with dragging my husband there, who also is in my class. But, and I was so pleased with how many other people were there. We've had, this is our fifth reunion, and we were not a close-knit class. There were, somewhere I've heard numbers between 600 and 700 students in our graduating class. And, we had little groups that were close. And in fact, I got to get together with some of the members of a 4-H sewing group that I participated in for like 7 years, and was a lot of fun. But anyway, there were just under 200 people at our reunion, and including my sophomore boyfriend that everybody said was dead. They have a memorial sign, and one of the spaces says, oops. But it was nice to reconnect with him and everyone else.
So he rose again. Okay, here goes Doug, and then this should probably be the last. We didn't have anybody on Zoom. They left us.
They're gone. Okay, time me. 5 happy bucks for 2 things. For Mary, again, for being so fantastic at organizing the donations, and how nice it is to not have to worry about things, just hand it off to somebody who's so competent. Thank you. And then I had a call this morning at 7:30 from somebody, and it said scam. So I answered it phone, and it was the paint store, Benjamin Moore Paints, and I was there yesterday and I bought some paint, and the guy sent me away with the wrong paint, slightly different than what I wanted. And he audited his own paperwork, which I guess he does every day. And he found the discrepancy and called me and said, sent you home with the wrong paint. Come get the paint you wanted. And it's free and it's on us, which is nice. Paint's expensive. I really recommend if you're buying paint, stay away from Home Depot. The quality of the product is bad. And the service is sometimes not very good. And the local paint stores, whether it's PPG, Benjamin Moore, or the other one, I go there once in a while. Fantastic service, and the products are better too. So I recommend them.
Good. All right, El Presidente.
Then, hey. I want to thank everyone for putting this meeting together. It always takes a lot of work just to pull the meeting off. Like we had the greeter and we have technical support and then the program committee. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes just to have a nice meeting. So thank you for all that. And the thought for the day, we have this August theme going on, you know, and they also call August the dog day afternoons or dog days of summer. It actually refers not to the temperature, but to the arrangement of some stars in the sky. Anyway, I found this quote that's kind of interesting by Jenny Han, who says, everything good, everything magical happens between the months of June and August. That we're in.